metropolitan area using the shared New York State voter registration form. Many of you do not know that. We fought very hard with legislators across the state to ensure that organ donation was part of the voter registration enrollment form. The partnership is exemplary and important, and we're the only state in the union that has this very special privilege. New York State allows you to become an organ donor when you vote. It is part of being a citizen. It is a responsibility and a civic obligation as we see it. Therefore, we have aligned our mission with New York City Votes to provide New Yorkers with the opportunity to register to vote, as well as to educate them on the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation. This year alone, the New York Organ Donor Network held 56 voter registration drives, which successfully generated 5,000 new voters and 2,400 organ donors. It's close to a 50% conversion rate, as well as participated in New York City Votes 100 voter registration drive challenge for the second year. We look forward to continuing this partnership with New York City Votes in 2014 and launching a special, this is really, really very important, very special joint campaign called Vote Like Your Life Depends on It. I don't know how many of you know that New York State is trailing the rest of the country in the number of people that registered to be the opportunity to partner with you. We will continue this partnership. We believe it's a win-win. We thank the staff. They've been phenomenal, Cheyenne, Anita, and so forth. And for next year, we're looking forward to a greater and bigger number. We believe that together we can make a difference, not only in ensuring New Yorkers exercise their given civil right and responsibility to vote, but also to save lives. Thank you and welcome again. This is your new home, as long as you want it. We are very pleased to have this very special environment. A lot of activity takes place here. You don't see a lot of people. We're always out in the field. So thank you for the opportunity. And now I am honored to introduce to you Art Cheng, Chair of the Voter Assistant Advisory Committee.
Thank you for inviting us into your beautiful home. This is a wonderful place to be. How many people here have signed the organ donor pledge?
Yes.
I have two, and I have friends who have benefited from this. It's a valuable service and much needed. And sadly, registering for the Organ Donor Network is we're ranked very low, similarly to ranking low in voting, which we'll talk about at 5 o'clock at our annual hearing. So this is, I want to welcome all of you to this very special recognition ceremony. We want to honor our fellow committee member, Jane Talmas, and wait for her to appear. Looking forward to seeing her. She's been a very, very important figure in voter engagement and voter activism in New York City. So it's going to be a real pleasure to see her and to be able to honor her. But there are also many others of you who are working very, very hard to try to turn back the tide of people who are not coming to the polls on election day, and trying on a very personal basis to encourage people to show up, to register, to show up to vote, and make their voices heard, because after all, this is the way of democracy, right? That registration is your membership card in democracy, and as I like to say, the polling place is the store for democracy, where you actually make your selection for who you want to represent you. And when you don't do that, we don't really have a democracy. So I wanted to thank Anita Coward-Mayers and her team for pulling this event together, and for all of your personal commitment to this very important cause. So thank you.
We're so happy that you took the time today to be here to share this day with us. As our chairman said, we are looking forward to also recognizing one of our long-standing New York City public servants who is making her way to New York City to host a meeting after the general election to discuss public reactions to the election. What were voter experiences like? How would you like to recommend that we strengthen the electoral process for the city of New York? And I'm so happy to have the minds that are in this room because I know you'll have a lot to share. And what's so wonderful about those who are here is that it's not always the conventional people. I mean, we have people here representing a broad spectrum and have so many different clienteles. But every New Yorker, no matter what the constituent, is a potential voter. So I'm so happy that we're able to come together and find out ways that we can work together to get more people registered to vote, to get more people happy about voting again and being part of this process. So one of the things I'd like to start with is we started a program 5 years ago called the Youth Poet Laureate Program. And what that is a program where we bring together youth from around the city to compete in a voter-themed spoken word competition. Our youth voter coordinator, Cheyenne Sapp. Cheyenne, will you stand? Cheyenne has been working on this almost since its inception, and this year we were very happy and proud to say that we have a new partner on board with the YPL program, and that is Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. So they agreed to have us use Lincoln Center as a backdrop for all of these youth to come together, not only just for the final slams, which we had in October, but also in the coming year. It's a place where they could come together to learn together, to talk about voting, whether they like it, don't like it, what their feelings are, but just really to start having the conversation. So we're very, very happy and proud of that partnership. So what we're going to do, we're going to kick off our reception this evening with a performance from the 2013-2014 recipient, Ramya, and I am going to invite our 2013 YPL, Ashley August, to join me also to introduce Ramya. Ashley, will you please come forward? And Ramya?
Hello. Good evening. My name is Ashley August. I was New York City's 2013 Youth Poet Laureate. Thank you. I would like to thank the New York City Campaign Finance Board, the Voter Assistance Unit, Art Chang, and the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee Chair for making the Youth Poet Laureate program happen. As New York City's 2013 Youth Poet Laureate, it is my honor to introduce you to the 2014 Youth Poet Laureate, Miss Ramya Romana. So I'm going to read a little bio so you know who you're getting, okay? Ramya Romana is 18 years old. She is a youth activist, a poet, and a writer. She recently won the New York Knicks Poetry Slam that awarded her with a full scholarship to St. John's University, where she is studying philosophy and government politics. Makes sense, right? Ramya gives back to her community through various service projects and plans to pursue a career as a community organizer and activist advocating for human rights and social justice. She is here today to perform 2 of her winning poems that she did at the Slam. So please welcome Ramya Romana.
Hello everyone, how are you doing? My name is Ramya Romana. It is an honor to have been named the 5th Youth Poet Laureate for the City of New York. I want to thank the New York City Campaign Finance Board and the Voter Assistant Advisory Committee Chair for making the YPL program possible and for having me here. Now, I am really excited for the 2014 year, so I can speak to my fellow peers about the importance of voting and youth voice. Now I will perform my winter voting piece entitled, It Is Not Your Problem. Gum wrapper sticking to pavement. You only eat mince. It is not your problem. Little boy taps knock knock. Keep ears deaf. It is not your problem. Food sprawled like vomit. You already ate. It is not your problem. Desert stomach. You live in tundra. It is not your problem. Stomach of empty cactus again. You live in tundra. It is not your problem. Boy, curled like locks on scalp. You straighten your hair. It is not your problem. Cigarette silhouettes gathered as shadow at funeral. You don't smoke. It is not your problem. Hymens crushing and falling like raindrops. You're not a feminist. It is not your problem. Bullets flying in chest of teenage boy. You only have sisters. It is not your problem. Gentrification, dancing in skinhead uniform. You're agnostic. You live in East Village. It is not your problem. New World Order happens tomorrow. Do not vote against it. It is not your problem. Thank you. So the second piece I will perform is my personal piece that I wrote for the Youth Poet Laureate Champion. And this title is, the title of this poem is called Miss America. Tweets after the announcement of the 2014 Miss America. Nina Davaluri. 1. Miss New York is an Indian. With all due respect, this is America too. Miss America. You mean Miss 7113. Congratulations, Al Qaeda. Our Miss America is one of you 4. Miss America. Foot-long buffalo chicken on whole wheat. Please and thank you. I am a first-generation Indian American from New York. My family is from South India and we speak one of the 398 living languages in our country called Telugu. Nina Davaluri is a first-generation Indian American from New York. Her family is from South India and they speak one of the 398 living languages in their country called Telugu. When this soil is all you know, do not hesitate to make a landscape out of chest. When their mouths flail like sneezing guns at the epitome of your bloodline, do not fear the consequence of pulse. Simply stand firm. Staying still is one of the hardest things mankind can do. Use the esophagus of your mouth as weaponry. Talk to them in chatterbox format. Tell them that this soil is yours, that this flag is yours, that this birth certificate is yours. Speak of caste system, speak of Gandhi, speak of Nehru, speak of women being held like Jonah in belly of a world that does not speak well of its own body. When your body becomes a half flashback of the Twin Towers being bent like scoliosis, remind them of all the pelvic bones broken because their ancestors wanted to conquer what did not belong to them. When they say you are a terrorist, Nina, say back no. We are all the ground you could ever wish to be. Say back no. This land does not vomit our limbs. It cages them like young child of home. Say back no. Your great-grandfathers raped, killed, and oppressed every race in the world. You are the biggest terrorists I know. People will always try to tell us that we are not American. Smile and show all the red wings to be sprawled out in our gums. Open our eyes, let the whites of our pupils splash out like volcanoes. Give our hands tantrum method and let it be known the blues of our veins will sing its vocal cords like a homeless man who's been silenced in the genocide. Show them the flag that tattoos its mantras all over your body. Show them that walk that you do, that Indian thing that you do. Keep dancing, Nina, keep dancing. Stomp your feet like resurrected rhinos getting shivers to movement. Do that dance. Bring all that motherland you can in here. When they mock us, keep dancing. When they laugh at us, keep dancing. When they mold us into animal construction site, do not stop moving your feet. Let them rise, make them dance with us, make them do that hip turn with us. When they hurt us, when they kill us, when they terrorize us, dance, stomp, sing, say, here's your foot-long buffalo chicken on whole wheat. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
And now I'm so excited to announce something that's a new endeavor of ours. And we really feel that it's kind of a natural progression. At this point, when I look into the room and we say partners, I say friends, right? We have wonderful friends who are in this room now. And I thank you all for being a friend to voting in New York City. So, special clap for each of you. If you give us just 1 second.
Well, hello again, everybody. I've had the privilege of, and I call it a privilege, I think for many of us who actually work in the public sector, we can say that it's actually a privilege to work in capacity for the people. And when I got my first job in government in 1990, I was thrilled. And that next 6 years were 6 of the most valuable and growth years of my career. And this year I turned 50. And it marks a kind of an important milestone for me. But what is amazing to me is that every year that goes by, I'm surrounded by wonderful people who really care about the public good and devote their lives to it. But every year, and there are a few years where I get to meet somebody like Jane Kalmus. I've had the privilege of being on the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee as the chair for the past 2 or 3 years, 2 years. And Jane has been at first a gentle prod from the side. And then as time ticked on, it became less a gentle prod, and more an incessant poking. That things had to become different, and that it was my job to continue the legacy that Jane Kalmus created when she started working for Bobby Wagner when he was mayor in 1961, 2 years before I was born.
I heard a girl.
One of my lifelong dreams is to be as nimble and fit as Jane is today. And through the years, since 1961, when she worked for Bobby Wagner, she then worked for Richard Hatcher, who was the first African-American mayor of a significant U.S. city. Gary, Indiana. And then in 1984, just before I graduated from college, Jane founded the National Nonpartisan Voter Registration Campaign. And then Jane joined the Voter Assistance Commission in 1990 and served as the vice chair until 2010 when it was brought into the Campaign Finance Board. So it's really been an honor to follow in Jane's giant footsteps and to aspire to have the same kind of impact on the municipal landscape that Jane has had. And as Jane has constantly reminded me that because of my relative youth and my knowledge of technology, that it is my duty and my responsibility to expand on the platform that she's created. So it's really a delight to be able to introduce Jane, and thank you for being my fellow committee member. Thank you for all of your advice and coaxing, and I'm honored to do this. Thank you. So I think at this point I'd like to actually introduce Councilmember Gail Brewer, my dear friend. And I think Gail is going to actually have something to present to you.
Good afternoon, I'm honored to be here. Thank you. Your hip looks good.
much better than mine. He's very healthy compared to me. Anyway, I'm here on behalf of the City Council, and we're honoring Jane Kalmus upon her departure from the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee, but she's been here from the very beginning, very beginning. And I think what we know is that she has a profound breadth and depth of life experience. She began her service in 1961 when she worked for Wagner, and then in 1968 for Robert Kennedy when he appointed her chief advisor to Richard Hatcher, the first African-American mayor of Gary, Indiana. She went to Indiana. And I think she knows, we all know that New York has had many, many changes, but she has been a constant source of support and encouragement for all of us. I know for all the City Council and for all of us. And she is, most importantly for today, and I know Neil knows this, she's a true pioneer in voter engagement. In 1984, she founded the National Nonpartisan Voter Registration Campaign, which helped establish the 24/7 telephone hotline at the Board of Elections. And she was an active supporter and participant in the World of Citywide Coalition for Voter Participation and Fair Elections. In 1989, as you know, she was appointed by the City Council as the Manhattan representative for VAAC. And she was vice chair and commissioner. And she's been a passionate champion, bugging all of us correctly on this issue. In fact, her name was synonymous with what good government in terms of voter assistance should be. She's also been a fellow at the Culinary Institute of America, a board member and former president of the Sutton Area Community Alliance, and also of the New York Youth Symphony. Not sympathy, symphony. She's widely respected for excelling in so many roles, but I think she obviously loves to be mother, grandmother, mother-in-law, and grandmother-in-law. And as she departs from VAAC, we celebrate her not only for the length of her legacy, but for the impact. This is even more important in my opinion. She has had on countless lives. She has really enriched all of us with her vision, and I will say, from my perspective, specifically on the issue of voter education. She's enthusiastic about what she's doing. She does not give up. She has great integrity, and she has earned the esteem of all New Yorkers. So now, therefore, be it known that the Council of the City of New York gratefully honors Jane Kalmus for her excellent service and enduring contributions to the City of New York. 16 December 2013, Christine Quinn, Gail Brewer, and Jessica Lavin. Congratulations.
Okay, it's next my pleasure and honor to introduce someone who I actually haven't seen for many years, Jean Mulgrave, who is the Commissioner for the Department of Youth and Community Development.
It's my pleasure to present this letter from the Mayor of the City of New York. I haven't met you, Ms. Kalmus, but from everything I've heard today, you should have been bugging us too. We feel left out. But I know that we share the values that you share at the Department of Youth and Community Development, which is to promote community engagement, community empowerment, and voter education. So thank you for your service to the City of New York, and thank you for everything that you have done. The letter says, Dear Ms. Kalmus, I'll show you what it looks like. It says, it is a great pleasure to join your New York Campaign Finance Board colleagues in thanking you for decades of outstanding service to the City of New York. Voting is one of the greatest rights and one of the most basic foundations of our democracy. From founding the National Nonpartisan Voter Registration Campaign to your most recent role advising the Campaign Finance Board as VAAC Commissioner, you have helped empower New Yorkers by increasing voter engagement throughout the 5 boroughs. We are grateful to your more than 50 years of commitment to public. That is a lot.
Believe me.
And look forward to your endeavors continuing to benefit our residents for many, many more years to come. On behalf of our great city, I offer my thanks and best wishes for good health and great happiness surrounded by your wonderful family. Sincerely, Michael R. Bloomberg, Mayor.
Jane, I've had such a great pleasure of working with you with the Voter Assistance Advisory Committee, and before we obviously worked together before VAAC was moved to the Campaign Finance Board, and of course, we share a common love of the City of New York, desire to improve the work for the citizens of the New York City, and really I'm so impressed with the work that you've done. It inspires all of us to personally do better and organizationally do better, but really you're a personal inspiration. And so we'd be remiss, we've decided to give you, and I always kind of feel like that to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to someone who has so much living to go on, so you have much more to give, but really we would be, it's very my pleasure to give to you the Campaign Finance Board and its Voter Assistance Advisory Committee present you with our 2013 New York NYC Votes Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you so much. All of you.
Okay, so next, everybody needs allies, and here we have 3 groups who have been our allies and trying to expand voter engagement and voter participation. Neil, Marjorie, and Ron would you like to come up and say something?
It'll be very brief. So many nice things have been said already. I've known Jane for close to a quarter of a century, and this is a real honor, Thank you. And I'm just going to do a brief paragraph I included in our testimony, submitted for the record, please. You made extraordinary contributions to VAAC and the residents of New York City. You've been a champion of meaningful election reform and a voice for the voters of the city. Your pioneering efforts, for example, helped lead to the creation of the Board of Elections phone bank. And I've also seen you do battle with mayors who did not always place the interests of the voters first. A reference under previous administrations helped ensure the independence of the Voter Assistance Commission and also prevented a weakening of city efforts to register voters. Her service to the city has been long and storied through both good times as well as through bad times at the Commission. And certainly predating her role, as we've heard, as an advocate for increased voter engagement in so many other ways. I'm sure I speak for the city's entire advocacy community when I thank you for your service and wish you the best at continuing to raise hell.
Yeah. Distinguished commissioners, former president-elect, Jane Kalmus. My name is Ron Hayduck. I had the privilege and the pleasure of serving with Jane as the coordinator of the Voter Assistance Commission. I guess it's renamed now the executive director. And Jane was fabulously engaging in her prodding. People call it bugging. I never felt bugged. I felt inspired, and Jane, I'm just delighted that there's a moment to really acknowledge all of your accomplishments. For me to say thank you to all the countless ways you supported me. I learned a tremendous amount about how city government works and how to engage voters. I've tried to do a little bit of that during my time, my 3 years there. And subsequently, I wrote a couple of books, which I think is one of those ways I can say thanks and congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Marjorie Shea, and I've worked with Jane both as a representative of the League of Women Voters and Women's City Club in their nonpartisan efforts to increase voter turnout. And everything that's been said about Jane, a little footnote, Gail Brewer mentioned that she had stuck with the Voter Assistance Commission through thick and thin, and I say, one thing that Jane has been, and that's tenacious. She's really held in there, and there hasn't always been the amount in the budget from different various mayors that we have today. And Jane has stuck there all the way through since the beginning.
Thank you so much.
Tireless advocate.
Thank you.
So, I'd like an opportunity to just say a couple of words on behalf of Jane, Commissioner Kalmus. Jane has been my friend, has been my mentor, confidant. I think that went both ways sometimes. That's right. And you know, sometimes you don't know when you're holding the hand of history, right? But she has definitely guided me through, and I thank her for that very much. I agree with everything that everyone else said, and I just wanted to add also, I asked my team, are there things you'd like me to say? And I heard, well, she's always a sharp dresser. And then I heard, and what about those cool hats? So I think she never fails, so thank you very much, Jane. On with our program, we were talking before about friends, right? So I thank you for your friendship because you have come early and stayed interested. And now I want to talk a little bit about the NYC Votes Awards.
Yes.
Yes. So, Jim, do you want to say something now? Okay. So the NYC Votes Awards was really a natural progression of our relationship and our partnership, and the people who are in this room have been working with us hand in hand for over a decade, and it really was time to let other people in the city know of all the great work that we're doing together. So we created this awards as simply a recognition to say out loud to everyone how much we really appreciate everything you do and how much hard work goes into it. And I would imagine people here can tell you it's not easy to register someone to vote, right? Do I hear an amen? It's not easy at all. And you have to really build relationships in order to get someone to register with you. People have to feel comfortable in a situation to turn their attention to you, to do something that is very private with you, and to do something that stands so very much for them with you. So I acknowledge each of you here today and really thank you for stepping up and trying so much harder to identify people within your pool, within your constituent base, and having them register to vote, but not only registering them to vote, going the extra mile and staying with them and educating them and making them aware. So thank you very much. Now, the NYC Votes Award will be given to an organization or company that has demonstrated an outstanding level of commitment and support toward the advancement of voter education, awareness, participation, registration, and engagement. NYC Votes will present these awards in the areas of innovative technology, excellence in community outreach, and integrating voter engagement. All of these partners were an integral part in helping us to achieve our goals and meet our mission. So tonight, I'd like to first start with the award for excellence in public outreach. And the first group that I'd like to call up who have gone far and beyond in this, and someone that before we announce the winner that I'd like to give honorable mention to is our host, New York Organ Donors. The New York Organ Donor Network has been an amazing partner. As you see, they allow us to use their space as it is our own home. We've had several meetings here with them. Cheyenne has come and trained their team of people. They are really what you call, we might have different missions, but we are working together toward one common goal. And we're using our same constituent base. So I'd like to invite three of them, or the Karen and Ms. Rivera, and oh, he left, right? If you would please join us. Art, would you please join us as well? In presenting this award, if you can all join me, to New York Organ Donor Network.
Karen is really the one that bears the torch of this one.
You want to say something? No, we're just happy for the partnership.
And now to announce the award and the winner for the Excellence in Public Outreach. It is the Department of Youth and Community Development, led by Commissioner Jeannie Mulgrave and her awesome staff and team. If they would please all join us. And I have to say, Commissioner Mulgrave, from the very beginning, opened her doors, and it extends over 10 years of a partnership that has really touched the lives of so many youth who continue to be involved with us. And because of the partnership that we had and we were able to show to the City of New York and to City Hall that when there was a charter referendum, we were able to get a position in for a youth voter coordinator, the first in the City of New York, who is Cheyenne Sapp. So we thank you very much.
On behalf of DYCD and the team, I can't do this work unless I'm accompanied by a strong staff, and Tracy Garcia has really led this effort on behalf of DYCD. It's great for us to be recognized for something that we already believe in. It's supporting youth voice and promoting civic participation is really part of our mission, part of what we do. This year alone, we had some tremendous accomplishments. We had 16 workshops that our young people participated in, which led to almost 500 new voters and 683 poll workers, and that's important too, because that's that face in terms of communicating with citizens. Our young people helped distribute I Voted stickers. They participated in the 1,000 Voter Registration Challenge and National Voter Registration Day, and they supported the Voter Registration Jams. And this is really helping us fulfill our mission to promote the leadership skills and have more civic-minded young people. So we thank you for this recognition, and good luck in the future. Thank you.
Our next award is for integrating voter engagement. Now, the way we see that also is someone who's actually taking on your mission and integrating it into the work that they do. We've had so many wonderful partners who have done this, and we'd like to invite up everyone who receives honorable mention, and I'll do this one at a time. For the first one, we'd like to invite up KPMG. Now, KPMG has served as the official auditors of the video breakfast, you know, our kickoff breakfast this year. They have done 3 cycles of the video voter guide, so that goes back 12 years. So they definitely deserve a round of applause. Thank you very much. Our second honorable mention is to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, East Kings County alumni. If they will please join us. I'll tell you what's so wonderful and important about this group is that there's so many times there are groups and organizations that have the right heart and want to do work, but they don't have manpower. And in this case, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority has stepped up each time when we said, we have a group that wants to do something, but they don't have any help. And they would send their membership wherever they had to go to do voter registration, to do the I voted stickers, to do anything that we asked them. So we all really appreciate and thank you. Now something really phenomenal happened this year. We had a great partner who decided to open up their corporate offices to us. And they figured out a way to integrate into their technology ways to reach out to the public on the behalf of all New Yorkers. This is Popular Community Bank. We'd like to invite Dawn and Melissa, if they could please join us. And they ran the first ever in New York City ATM messages that as you go to the ATM machine, it reminded you when it was when it was election day, and what some of your rights were. So thank you. Sometimes you run across groups that take your mission and run with it. New York Organ Donors is like that. But this next group also exemplifies that. Can I please have all of the members from the New York City Health and Hospital Corporation please stand? I'm going to ask you to come forward now. We will hear a lot more from about each of these agencies and organizations during the public hearing as well. But Health and Hospital Corporation have held countless numbers of voter registration drives, poll worker recruitment drives, and I voted sticker distributions. And we really thank them, from their executive staff to each of the hospitals. Can you please tell me the hospitals you represent?
I represent Kings County Hospital Center.
Kings County.
Elmhurst Hospital Center.
Elmhurst and Queens.
Gouverneur.
Gouverneur Hospital. That's in Governor's Island.
Lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan. Right. Great. So please give them a round of applause. And at this time, I'd like to announce the winner in this category. And it is the City University of New York. Michael is representing CUNY. He's from Lehman. And Stacy Emanuel just had to leave for another engagement from the Chancellor's office as well. So thank you very much, Michael. CUNY does, everyone in this room can talk about what CUNY does for the electoral process in New York City. And we thank them very much. They are probably single-handedly they can do the highest number of voter registrations in the city all on their own for the programs that they do. This year, I'm so happy that Michael is here joining us, because we had a concept we were trying to do this year, which was red, white, blue, and you. And it was trying to paint our city in those colors. And CUNY decided that they were going to try that out. And Michael did that at Lehman College, where he lit the campus red, white, and blue for a season of time over the election season to really speak to the pride that sometimes we're missing again in our election process. So thank you, Michael. I realize one of our partners are here that I did not see. But in the category also of integrating voter engagement is the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission. Is someone here? Oh, wonderful. And the the Taxi and Limousine Commission partnered with us, and I'm very proud to say that our agency was the first one when they started to do PSAs, public service announcements in the taxis. We were the first PSA shown inside the taxis. When we went to them and said we'd like to start doing surveys, they said we'll try to pilot one. And we were the first survey inside the taxis as well. Not only reminding people of Election Day, but asking them to give us their comments about Election Day. So I'm very happy that they were able to join us. Stuart, on our team, monitors this and this relationship for us, and we really want to thank TLC for all that they do. Well, I'm going to ask our chair to join me in this next recognition. We did something so awesome this year under the leadership of this visionary here. And as part of NYC Votes, we wanted to do an award for innovative technology. I can talk as much as I like, but I really can't get into his head. He's the man who can describe the vision of what he wanted for New York City and technology and our election system. However, it took people and real manpower to make this happen. And when someone doesn't necessarily share in your vision, it's even harder to get people to work. So, Art, if you would please present this next award.
I think it's kind of not appropriate to present an award to yourself. So I'm actually going to just invite up the VoteScope team to come up and join me, because they're really the ones who kicked off the whole thing, and I wanted to say a quick word about it. Well, back when we had this idea that voter engagement should feel as simple and powerful as going to Amazon, there was a group at a civic hackathon who stepped up to meet the challenge. And from that event, they created a product that became called VoteScope, which became the inspiration for NYC Votes. So I want to thank them, and I guess it's my pleasure to present this award to them for their efforts. Well, thank you everybody for coming to recognize the contributions that this amazing group of people have made to voter engagement in New York City. So could I have one final round of applause for everybody? James will remain an inspiration. So I think because we're running late, I think we should just launch straight into the public hearing. And I think we'll take literally a 2-minute break just to set up. But we have a very important testimony, and we want to get right down to business. So thank you.